Hey guys, I'm Sophie Newton, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you for joining. So I thought I'd do another vlog about mental health because I haven't actually spoken about it much on a video in like quite a while. And I thought I'd do a more of a up-to-date video, sort of how I am, and just talk about a few things because I did actually ask people on Instagram yesterday what they wanted me to talk about. So I'm going to try and talk about, from my perspective, the things that they asked me. Obviously, in no way, shape or form is my advice, you know, it's subjective. Like, I don't want to feel like people, like, please don't take my advice as, you know, like medical advice. I'm not medically trained, I'm not a psychiatrist. This is just talking from experience of having and suffering with depression and being medicated. So obviously, you know, I don't want anyone to kind of use this as strict medical advice, whatever. Like, I feel like I need to do like a bit of a disclaimer. Anyway, so just like a recap, so obviously I suffer with depression and anxiety, but mostly depression. So that's like blues, mood swings, lethargic, can't get out of bed, sort of like cycles of hating myself, how I look, negative thoughts, just being very, very down and just feeling very like low. I have been medicated now for over 6 years, I think. 7 years. So 7 years, and I've taken a whole host of different tablets: sertraline, citalopram, venlafaxine. I've taken one that's Xanax, but I can't remember the name of that now. And I'm currently on fluoxetine. Actually, that could be Xanax, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm currently on fluoxetine, and yeah, it's okay. It's like, out of the ones that I took before, it's good. It's on like a level of sertraline. Like, if you watched my last video, I talked about how much I loved sertraline. Oh, when I say last video, I mean like my other mental health ones, which if you obviously look at my video uploads, you'll see it on there. I think I talked about it actually twice. I did two videos, and I said how much I loved sertraline. Like, it was really good. I felt like there wasn't many side effects. You know, it didn't gain weight. I wasn't extremely tired, and it didn't keep me up at night. You know, but the reason why I had to stop was because it made my hair fall out. And I went back on it this year, and my hair started falling out again, and I was like so gutted. So yeah, it happens to a few people that take sertraline. They find that their hair falls out, which obviously isn't cool. It sucks. But yeah, anyway, fluoxetine is good. The only thing is it's very hard to drink on, like very hard to drink on. I would not recommend drinking on fluoxetine. It really makes you sensitive to alcohol. Like, I drink on it, and I find it's really hard to get a balance of like knowing when to stop drinking, because literally like one more drink and you're like tipped over the edge and you're really, really drunk, and it's like crazy drunk, crazy level of drunk. Like, my mum said to me that she'd never seen anything like it. Like, we went out in Manchester. We went out on Canal Street in Manchester, me and mum, and which was sick. But yeah, she was like, I just haven't seen anything like it. Like, it was just crazy. And I had drunk a lot, and I hadn't eaten. And yeah, so just be careful. If you are going to take fluoxetine or you're on it, please be careful with drink. That's my advice to you. Yeah, so that's me. So yeah, so what I'm going to talk about today was sort of like where I'm at the moment with like my head and stuff. So obviously, you know, I still have my down days, I have my good days. I feel like I've got better at knowing when I'm going to encounter a bad day. And, you know, I talk about that in another video. I said, you know, there's obviously times where you're going to be a little bit tired, poorly, you know, something maybe doesn't go right, like, you know, you get in trouble at work or you fall out with a friend, like those things are going to trigger like a bad day. So obviously, you know, you have to know when to kind of like be a little bit more kinder to yourself. So obviously, like the days where I am hungover or tired, I'm gonna try and just be a bit more like protective of myself, do things that make me feel good, like watch a film, maybe meditate, eat some nice food, be around people that make me feel good. Obviously, I think for people that suffer, when you do encounter a bad day, you know, it's easy to be really kind of hard on yourself and be very like much beat yourself up. But I think the only way that you can get through it is by accepting that you have this condition, accepting that this is a bad day, and just trying to like, you know, find little things that maybe bring a little bit of light into that bad day. So for me, obviously, like some nice food, being around good people, watching, you know, nice movies, things that are going to try and like lift your spirits. And it is totally hard if you're at rock bottom. Trust me, it's like you don't want to do anything but just lie in your bed and like either sleep, cry, or just wallow. So it is tough. I think having depression is hard because you have to work so much harder on yourself, and it's so hard for people to actually put in, like, find the motivation to put in that time to give yourself a lot of like self-care and, you know, really take care of yourself. So yeah, so obviously my advice is just be a bit fairer on yourself. Like, I meet so many people that are so like angry at themselves, but that's not going to solve anything. I think you need to be very much like, this is me, this is who I am. If you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. So yeah, it's really tough. It's tough, and like days are different for me, you know, like today I feel good, tomorrow I could feel like crap. I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know. Sometimes I don't even need to be tired, ill, hungover, whatever. I can just literally wake up and just feel blue for no reason. And it is a struggle, let me tell you, like forcing yourself out of bed to actually do chores, to go to work, to get dressed, to put makeup on is so goddamn hard. Like, it's so hard, it's tiring, like actually pulling yourself out of that. And that's something that I do struggle with, but I am getting better. It's like that forcing yourself to do stuff, because sometimes I kind of see it as a bit of a challenge where you get like a prize at the end, and the prize at the end is, you know, like the reward of knowing that you've done it. So for me, obviously, when I'm having a really bad day and I know that I've got a really long to-do list, I literally have to like muster every bit of strength within me, pull myself out of bed, get dressed, put makeup on, put some music on, do my chores, whatever, even if they're so mundane. And then at the end, like, I guarantee, well, I don't know for everyone, but for me, I feel so much better. And like, even if I still feel really blue, I kind of feel like, well, at least I did actually bring myself out and do it. So there is a lot of like working with yourself to like for yourself, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's hard. I had quite a bad bout of like blue days and depression, really bad depression, like a few weeks ago. Like, I basically opened up an external hard drive that I haven't touched for 7 years, and I knew exactly what was on that external hard drive, and I avoided it, but I needed to put some pictures on it from my laptop because the memory was like all used up. And I came across a file that I've been avoiding for 7 years, and I couldn't stop myself opening it. And basically it was my suicide note that I had written in 2012, and it was really, really difficult to read, like so difficult, because it kind of brought everything back and everything sort of came crashing down, and I felt very angry and guilty. And I was really upset at myself that I'd allowed myself to get to that point. And I was really shocked at what I'd written, because I'd put most of it to the back of my mind. So I couldn't remember like the words I'd written to people, my mom, my dad, my brother, you know, my other siblings, my friends. And I just like, I felt really like upset at myself for like doing it. But in a way, I also felt really happy that I hadn't done it, because in that 7 years, I've encountered so many amazing people, I've experienced so many amazing things, I've been to some cool places, I've done some amazing things that like I wouldn't have done if I had ended my life back then. And it's really hard, and I kind of want to lead on from that just to say, if you are considering suicide, please don't, because I know at the point that you're at now, or you know, like if you're contemplating it and you're at like rock bottom, it gets better. It does, trust me. I was at that point where I literally saw no way out. I literally was blinkered, and all I could see was everything that was going wrong, how bad I felt, everything. And it was so hard, like so hard to even consider anybody else's feelings, or like things that like could have happened in the future, you know, things that were like coming to me. And I just was so blindsided by like my sadness. And like, I just want to say to anyone that's considering it or is in this position now where you know, you've organized it, you know, you're planning it, whatever, please don't do it. Please seek help, talk to people, please, I beg you. For me, the best tool has been talking, blogging, reaching out to people. You know, people message me that I've never met before, and it's so good to be able to share how you feel, because you're helping them, they're getting stuff off their chest, you're also getting it off your chest, you're using what's happened to you to like help others. And I think the whole point of having this is to help other people with it. You know, we're all in this together, we all are literally in this boat together. We have to just like join hands and be in this together and help each other. But I just want to say, like, please don't do it. The world is such an amazing place. I didn't see it at that point. I nearly like ended it, and thank God I didn't. You know, I wouldn't have ever gone to Thailand and volunteered with elephants. I wouldn't have ever done some amazing things like snorkel with turtles, you know, go to Bali, go to America. Like, I wouldn't have met my boyfriend, you know, I wouldn't have finished uni, got my degree, I wouldn't have been on TV, done like cool stuff like that, model. So yeah, if you are feeling like you're considering it, please, number one, don't do it. Number two, talk to somebody. Please, I beg of you, so important. Basically, yesterday, as I mentioned, I asked Instagram to send me things that like you wanted me to talk about, and I had a few different replies for things, and one of those was from a girl who said about body image and sort of like how I cope with body image in terms of like, how do I see myself, do I have any advice for other people. So body image is a funny one. Like, I have really suffered in the past with negative self-image, like hating what I saw in the mirror, putting myself down, really just hating what I like saw looking back at me in the mirror. You know, people would say, but you put all these pictures on Instagram and, you know, like, you look really good and you wear loads of makeup, so how can you be like insecure? How can you have body image issues, like things like that? Well, it doesn't always work like that. So people that you see on like social media and stuff that put loads of selfies up, or like, you know, pictures in bikinis, or, you know, beautiful pictures like every day, they might really suffer. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are really confident and self-assured and they love what they see, because it's not a case of that. For me, a lot of it was like the validation that I needed from other people. I like, it was like a high for me to, I don't know, get like random compliments from people I'd never met, to get, you know, like loads of likes and comments from people that, again, I'd never met. And it was really tough, and I spent a long time really not liking who I was. But for me, I actually realized like that I am a really special person, and the one person in this life that needs to love me is me. And I am wasting so many years of my life hating what I see and not accepting who I am, and I'm stopping amazing things from happening by being so negative, because obviously like I'm very spiritual. So I'm just gonna get my drink. I need to wet my whistle. And obviously I do believe that, you know, like the law of attraction, what you put out you get back. and I felt like being really negative was kind of like showing to other people, and in a way it was like stopping these amazing things happening, because I am so like negative about myself, and it's like a vibe that I'm putting out there. So like basically what I'm saying is, you know, I could go for auditions and things and I would put myself down, and that doesn't really give anybody confidence to maybe like hire me, or, you know, like a job interview. Why would they want to employ me if I don't love who I am and I'm not confident in who I am? So yeah, it is tough. I mean, like, it's hard. It's so hard to love yourself. Like, it's like, how do you even begin to do that? It's by being a little bit like kinder, in my opinion. It's about actually looking at yourself and like really appreciating what you call as flaws. And it's about realizing that like you are so special, so important, and so beautiful. And stop comparing. Comparing is like the one thing that is so, it contributes so much to like negative self-image. Like, you have to stop looking at people on Instagram and wishing you were them. And I know I'm hypocritical because I still do this sometimes, and it is hard, but this is a learning process. You're not just gonna get like better in like 2 days. And like, even for me, like I would say I love myself. I have days where maybe it's a little bit harder, and I do slip back into old ways of like, you know, being negative and like comparing myself, you know, to like amazing girls on Instagram or whatever. Oh my god, look at her body, it's so good. Look at her hair, look at her skin. I wish I had her clothes, her life, blah, blah, blah. It's not good to compare, and it will also contribute to like lower self-image. So you have to get to grips with who you are, and you can't change who you are. Like, you are who you are. You're born this way. This is you. And you have to just start like appreciating who you are. Get people to point out your good factors, which I know is like super cringy, but honestly, speak to your closest friends and say, what do you think is my best quality? And really like soak this in. Like, it's not egotistical at all. It's good to feel good about yourself. When someone pays you a compliment, instead of going, actually, you know, I look like shit, or I've got some spots on my face or whatever, stop. Just be like, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I love this outfit. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know, my skin is looking really good at the moment. Don't go like, and then put yourself down. If someone goes, oh my god, I love your outfit, don't be like, oh, I feel really fat today. Like, just stop. Enjoy like the people that are giving you these compliments, because it really helps. But yeah, self-image is a really tricky one. It is, because we do live in a society where image and our way, you know, like how we look is very important. And you know, you see like so many things online, like magazines, where celebrities, or like, you know, celebrities have been like pulled apart for how they look, and that is really hard. And it's kind of difficult to like block out, because I feel like we've all grown up, like this generation, like 20s whatever, have grown up with, you know, like social media and stuff like from a young age. So you've seen like a lot of like negative stuff in the media, and that's really not helped shape us. So yeah, it's really hard. Like, all my advice is subjective, because what's going to work for me might not work for you. So a lot of it is how you can like find coping mechanisms and ways that you can deal with it. This video is very much about me, and obviously like I try and advise, but I do realize that like obviously not everyone is the same, and you know, people are gonna go, well, I don't know how to love myself, like how does she do it? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's not just as easy as saying I love me, but it, you know, you have to start saying it and believing it to be true. You know, like, look in the mirror, oh my god, I look so beautiful today, I love me, I love me, I love me. Repeat it over and over and over. Block out those negative thoughts. It might be so overwhelming to want to just pull yourself apart and be so negative, but you've got to put some work in, you've got to put some graft in, and you're going to see results. Trust me. You have to start believing it. You have to start loving who you are. When you feel like you know, you wake up one day and you feel particularly shit about yourself, or you think you've put on some weight, the one thing I suggest is stay off social media. Stay off like from comparing yourself, because it's not going to help. It's going to make you feel worse. But it's a tough one. Self-image is a weird one, especially when you suffer with like depression and stuff, because you kind of find that like it makes it worse, because when you feel shit anyway, you're gonna like feel shit about yourself as a whole, like image and everything. So yeah, I'd say my advice is actually take a minute to really look at yourself and really try and muster up with all your might those feelings of love and affection and care. You know, be thankful that you can breathe and you can talk and you can, you know, hear, and you've got friends and you've got family and you've got loved ones, you know what I mean? Like, think about all the little things that make you you. Actually look in the mirror and go, I love me, I'm beautiful, I'm special, I am me. Hope that helps. It's really hard. Sometimes I kind of feel like weird about giving advice, because I feel like some people might be like, well, this doesn't work for me. So yeah, it's subjective. Another question that I had was, how do I deal with not knowing what I'm doing in my life? Oh my God, this question. So for me, like, the number one thing that I fear in life is people asking me what I do and what I'm doing with myself, because I actually don't know. I really have no idea. Like, I want to do TV, movies, like acting, obviously modeling. I want to be in the media and like show business somehow, but I don't know how to get there. So yeah, I do bits and bobs here and there. I don't have a specific career path. Like, I'm not employed by one specific person. I do loads of little random bits. It's not for everyone, and it certainly sometimes isn't for me. But I just know that I personally wouldn't be happy in like, maybe let's say like an office job, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Like, I need to be out and about doing things, meeting different people. I want to be doing like modeling some days. Some days I'm happy to do bar work, like I do bar work, do admin, I do receptionist work. And then I do obviously like my acting stuff, TV if I can find any. It's hard. Not knowing what you're doing is so difficult. Like, it's shit. I hate it so much. Like, I sometimes just have like breakdowns and I'm like, what am I actually doing with my life? Like, I have no direction. I'm just madly I'm like in the ocean paddling in a boat, and I'm not near any land. I'm just paddling and no idea where I'm going. That's how I feel, and it's hard. The only advice I can give is keep going, like persevere. Actually think about really what you want to do. Start talking to people, open up. Try and write down things, journal how you feel, what you enjoy, what you're good at. Speak to people, obviously I just said that. Speak to people is a really good one, because obviously you can get insight from people, things like that. Try different jobs, you know, maybe you just haven't found what you want to do because you haven't actually experienced it yet. But God, it's tough. Like, I'm in this place at the moment, so I honestly have no idea. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, I'm 27 and I feel like at this point I should have realized like what I actually want to do and be in like a really, really good career. So yeah, it's horrible. But my advice is just don't beat yourself up about it, because it will come. Like, it will come. You just got to be patient. Like, you know, look at like all the greats. Most of them, like J.K. Rowling, Walt Disney. I'm trying to like visualize that picture that went around. It's like, these people were broke, didn't know what they were doing, and now they're, you know, like they're really rich billionaires. But it is hard, trust me. I would just say keep going, try and think about what you actually want to do, and try and like speak to people. Maybe sit down and actually write down what you're good at and what your qualities are. But yeah, write down what you're good at, speak to people. When you write stuff down, maybe look, I feel like a really caring person that loves to help others, and you know, you feel like you want to go out and do some good. Maybe look at maybe doing some caring work, going and working in third world countries. Maybe do a bit of volunteering. I feel like when I've done volunteering, it's really helped to clear my head and actually make me kind of see what I want to do. Like, I know that I want to do TV acting, but I also know that I want to do stuff with animals. So it's kind of like, how do I incorporate all of that together? And I really want to be a TV presenter, but doing stuff like Chris Packham, Michaela Strachan. But it's like, how do I do that? I don't have an agent. To get an agent, I need more like TV work. How do I get TV work? Like, it's kind of like a vicious circle. But I'm just gonna take a breath and let the universe like, bring it to me, release to the universe, and know that it will happen when the time is right. And everything that's happening to me now is to make me a more humble and grateful person, so that when all this amazing stuff comes to me, I will look back and go, well, thank God for that struggle, because it's made me who I am today. Okay, that's another one. So trying to think of more. Another one was dealing with suicide and depression with young men in their 20s, 30s, and the person mentioned in a creative field. I don't really get that. I mean, like, does that mean like if people are guys more prone to suicide and depression if they're in like acting and stuff? Any guy is prone to suicide and depression. It's hard because obviously I'm not a guy, so it's hard for me to advise on this. I do feel a lot of feelings about this, because I feel very sad that there is such a high rate, especially in the UK, of young men that are taking their lives. And I do know that a factor is because they feel like they can't talk, because society has got such a stigma against men who should be seen as strong and, you know, very confident, and, you know, they know what they want to do, and men are strong-willed, and, you know, they shouldn't cry, and it's weak to see a man cry, and men should be, you know, it's women that cry and women that are weak and women, you know, that suffer. But that's not true. It's so not true. We need to get away as a society from this way of thinking. This is an older generation's way of thinking that unfortunately has like come over to this side. Like in the past, like, well, men and women, like when my mum and dad like were young, growing up, like you just didn't talk about your feelings. You know, if you had some sort of mental illness, you were locked away. Like it was so taboo. We need to get out of this mindset. Like, this is 2019. Like, we need to be teaching our sons, our friends, we need to be teaching other guys that it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel depressed, it's okay to feel anxious. You don't have to be strong all the time. Like, gender, it doesn't make a difference. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone is allowed to feel sad, and it's okay to talk. We need to like drum this in. And so it's so important that men in positions of, you know, like celebrities, like, do stand up. They do talk about their feelings. We need to be supportive. Like, whoever you are, you need to support your male friends. You know, you need to talk to them. Even people that are obviously older than their 20s, 30s, like, it doesn't matter what age you are. Obviously, I'm going to the question that I was asked about males in their 20s and 30s. We need to support our dads, our granddads, our uncles, friends that are, you know, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s. It doesn't matter how old you are. Kids, teens, we need to tell them that it's okay to talk. It's okay, like, it's normal, and, you know, don't be embarrassed about how you feel. But yeah, I find it so sad. Like, when I read of another young guy that's like taken his own life, it makes me, it literally kills me. It gets me so much, and I just like want to know where they were at and why they did what they did. And I do feel like obviously they felt so trapped that there was no way out. But I wonder if that's because they didn't talk about their feelings and they were embarrassed of how they felt, and so in their ashamed state, you know, they did the only thing that they thought was the way out of these feelings, and that's committing suicide, and it kills me. So obviously, going back to the original question about men in their 20s and 30s in the creative field being more prone to depression and suicide, I really don't know. I mean, I got told years ago by my professor at uni that basically when I opened up about my depression, he said that he suffered, and a lot of people that are actors suffer. I mean, he was an actor, so we're talking from an actor's perspective. a lot of actors that he'd met, fellow actors. And he said, I don't know whether this is true, this is literally what he said, that when you are a very creative person, you are more prone to these feelings. That's why you're in a creative profession. Maybe it's part of the way the brain works in order to access these real creative ways. Maybe you also are feeling a lot more. They say people with a higher IQ are more likely to be depressed. I don't know whether that's true. I've never had my IQ tested. I don't know if I'm a brain box. I don't know, so I'm really sorry. I struggle to answer this one, but please, if you know anything about this, can you shed some light? Like comment, write in the comments, send me a message. Obviously, I'll drop the links to my social media. So last question, and then I'll finish because I can see that this video is long and I talk for hours. Was, how do you cope with staying away from social media when you feel depressed and kind of having like a social media holiday, as it were, a break, logging out and just kind of switching off? So yeah, this is like a very learned thing for me. Like, I feel like this is something I've developed over the years, because I used to be that person that when I felt like shit, I would log in social media and I'd make myself so low. Like, I would stay on and I'd go lower and lower and lower, and I would make myself feel so much worse. In the end, the only way was like self-control, was like, you know, like pulling yourself away from sending that drunk text, you know, saying no to somebody. Self-control was probably like the one thing that I've really had to work on. But let me tell you, it is so good if you can, when you're feeling like crap, take yourself away from social media, because you're gonna look for stuff that's gonna make yourself feel worse. We are like the kind of people, like I am the kind of person that's like, you know, it's like a self-harm, and it's like a pleasure. It's like a weird sadistic pleasure that when you feel awful, let's look at stuff that makes you feel worse. It's like looking at an ex's, you know, new girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. You just like, it's not good. You're gonna make yourself feel really bad, especially if you're like in love with them still or whatever. You know, it's like looking at, it's like torture. It's just not worth it. It's gonna cause more pain, and you're gonna stop yourself like getting better and feeling better. So how do I cope? So self-control, really so much self-control. Distraction, putting your phone down, turning your phone off, picking up a book, meditating. Again, this comes back to self-control. That's all there really is. Like, that's all I've really done, is made myself physically not, and also telling people like, guys, can you, if you see me looking at Instagram, can you distract me? Can you take my phone off me? Tell your friends, you know, just maybe go out with a friend and get them to distract you, like have a nice meal or something. But yeah, I do get social media blues, like especially if I like feel rubbish and I haven't been on it for a day. I also got to the point where I felt like, if this, not when I'd been feeling bad, but like if I was out at dinner or like if I was at work for the day and hadn't been on my phone for hours, I was like, oh my god, I haven't logged into social media, I haven't logged, like I don't know what people are doing, I haven't checked anyone's stories, oh my god, I've missed like a loads of influencers' outfit posts, I don't know what's going on in the world, I haven't been on Twitter, I haven't been on Facebook. And then I got really anxious, and the only way that I've actually like stopped myself feeling bad is by realizing that like there's way much more to life than social media. It's a bloody virtual like reality world. Like, it's not real. People are putting up like snapshots of their life when it's great. Like, you rarely, like people do, but you rarely see posts where people are like, oh, I feel like shit, I look like shit, or you know, had a really bad day today. So yeah, self-control, and also realizing that like there's way much more to life than Instagram or social media, and actually enjoying the moment that you're in and realizing that, you know, it's gonna be there tomorrow. like, don't worry because you haven't checked 100 people's Instagram stories and you've got all those circles at the top that you haven't watched. Like, life goes on. Who really cares? Why are you wasting your life worrying about social media? You're literally staring at a phone and missing the flowers, the rainbows, the butterflies, the bees, speaking to people. Sometimes I really hate phones and I really hate social media. Like, it's just changed people so much. You like go out and you see, and I'm guilty of this as well, I know, you see people just glued to their phones and you're not even like properly interacting with people. It's so sad. It like kills me, it really does, and I'm guilty of it. But I think it's a learning curve. It's like you have to learn and you have to get to rock bottom to like come out of that. And I mentioned in a video I did where it was like why I decided to stop being an influencer, like why I culled my Instagram account, which had like, I don't know, like 16,000 followers. For me, and also this has helped me come off social media, and not come off, sorry, as a whole, I mean like come off and spend more time away from Instagram, was when I was at a meal with my boyfriend. It makes me feel really sad, like it really makes me want to cry because I feel like so bad. But don't beat yourself up because it's happened and now I learned from it. But when me and my boyfriend were at a meal, I was glued to my phone, liking other people's Instagram pictures, that in return they would like my new recent picture. And my boyfriend was trying to get my attention and talk to me, and I was like, can you just wait, like I'm doing something. And before I knew it, we'd finished our meal and we'd barely spoken, and that really hurt his feelings. Like I wasn't there, I was present but I wasn't present. I gave him no attention. I missed out on actually having a really nice meal with him because I was on my phone on Instagram and I was looking at what other people were doing. I was liking other people's pictures and I forgot to live my life. And when I get so hooked, like some days where I feel like, oh my, wow, I've been on Instagram too much and I need a break, and I'm like, maybe not yet. I kind of think back to how I felt and how I made Simon feel that day. Sorry, how I feel now about the situation, how I made Simon feel that day. And that kind of really like sobers me up and puts me into perspective, because that's depressing. Like that's not okay. Like that's really just shit, and I can't get back that time. You know, we can make new memories now, but then I've got that horrible memory. So that's why I'd say have a break from social media, or just limit yourself to maybe like half an hour. Please, it's so not important being on social media. Like actually live in this present moment, not on a phone. So yes, that's it really. I just want to say, yeah, this is my own opinion on things. This vlog is very personal. If people can take things out of this that helps them, so be it. But I just want to like be able to share my feelings. This is part of my healing journey as well. It makes me feel good to be able to get things off my chest and talk about things. Obviously, if anyone needs to reach out, please do. Like, subscribe, share, and be nice, please. I always say this, but please be nice. Like, if you feel like negative about this video, don't share it with me. I don't want to know, and I feel like it's not constructive in any way, shape or form. Obviously, if you do have a constructive criticism, that is actually a constructive criticism, then you can mention it, but not like, oh my god, you're an absolute shithead, you know, you think you're so special. That's not constructive in the slightest. That wastes my time reading it, and it wastes your time writing it. And on that note, I'm gonna love you and leave you. I'm going to watch a movie with my mom because she's had a hip operation and she can't really get out of bed at the moment. She can only sort of hobble around. So she's very much in bed, recovering, watching films. So we're gonna watch Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which is my favorite film. And yeah, love you all, and love and light to everybody. If you're struggling, please talk, please share, it will get better. I love you all. I send you my healing love, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.